Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, on to the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! A storm's brewing in paradise, and it's not just the weather over Parkhead. Whispers coming out of Lennoxtown suggest Brendan Rodgers is nay exactly happy with everyone in the dressing room. According to a source close to the club, and it's still just a rumor, but where there's smoke, there's usually a wee bit of fire. The gaffers privately expressed that two players are causing real disruption in the squad. Now, it's important to note that Rodgers is no the sort to throw names about lightly. He's been in the game too long, managed too many characters, and knows fine well how dangerous it is when word like this gets out. But if this story's got any legs at all, it raises serious questions about harmony inside that Celtic dressing room, especially at a time when the Hoops need full focus on the title race in Europe. Brendan Rodgers is a manager who values discipline, unity, and professionalism above all. He's no stranger to dealing with big egos. Remember his time at Liverpool? He's handled the likes of Suarez, Gerrard, and Sterling. So if he's actually come out behind closed doors and said there are two players harming the group, that's a red flag, mate. That's not just a passing frustration. That's a sign that things are brewing internally. The question is, who are these players? And more importantly, what exactly are they doing that's getting on the manager's wick? Are we talking about lads slacking off in training, disrupting team meetings, refusing tactics? Or is it more subtle? A bad attitude, lack of commitment, poison in the atmosphere? We can't say for certain, but Brendan doesn't tend to complain unless he's at his wit's end. You got to remember, Brendan's second spell at Celtic hasn't been a walk in the park. A chunk of the support was skeptical when he returned after jumping ship to Leicester a few years back. And since his return, while results haven't been disastrous, it's fair they say the team's been hot and cold. Consistency's been a problem. Injuries haven't helped, sure. But what's worse than injuries is unrest in the squad. If players are working against the grain, intentionally or not, that can undo all the work done on the pitch and the training ground. That kind of toxicity spreads, mate. You see it all the time. One or two bad apples can sour the whole bunch. So Brendan's reportedly calling this out, maybe not to the press, but within the club hierarchy. That tells you he's looking for support to make changes. Now, speculation is already flying online, and you can't stop the fans from trying to play detective. Names are being floated, some more plausible than others. A few folk are pointing fingers at newer signings who've not adapted well to the Scottish game. Others are suggesting it's senior players who maybe don't see eye to eye with Rodgers. Methods, but let's be careful, right? It's easy to scapegoat a player when a team's underperforming. And football's full of strong personalities. You need them, but when those personalities turn negative or challenge authority the wrong way, that's when it becomes a problem. Brendan's been at this game long enough to know the difference between healthy competition and straight-up disharmony. This could also explain some of Brendan's recent comments about professionalism and mentality in his presses. Over the last few weeks, if you've been listening closely, there's been hints. He's talked about standards and the Celtic way and warned that no one is bigger than the club. At the time, we all thought he was just setting the tone, but in light of this rumor, maybe there was more behind those words. Maybe he was sending a message, not just to the fans, but to the dressing room. And if so, who heard it? Did the players in question take notice, or did they dig their heels in further? These are the moments that define a manager's control. Can he rally the group, or does it spiral? Let's also consider the timing. We're entering a crucial stretch in the season. European nights are on the horizon, the title race is tightening, and there's silverware to be won. This is no time for disharmony. If there's unrest behind the scenes, Brendan will need to act fast, either by reintegrating these lads properly or shipping them out in the next window. And make no mistake, he will make that call. Rodgers has never been afraid to be ruthless when it comes to maintaining control. Remember what he did when he first arrived at Celtic the first time? He cleaned house, dropped players who weren't pulling their weight. If he thinks history's repeating, we could see some shock exits soon. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. But there's a risk here, and Brendan knows it. Outing troublemakers, or even just isolating them quietly, can backfire if the squad feels it's unjust. That's why man management is an art. You gotta win the dressing room while enforcing standards. And that's especially tough at a club like Celtic, where expectations are sky high, scrutiny is constant, and every move is analyzed by pundits, fans, and the press. If Brendan's going to navigate this without letting the season unravel, he's got to do it surgically. Identify the issues, address them behind the scenes, and get the squad back on the same page. Otherwise, it's not just two players that'll cost Celtic. It could be the entire campaign at risk. And what about the board? They'll be watching all this unfold. If Brendan's made them aware that he feels two players are damaging the squad, they've got decisions to make too. Do they back him in January and move players on? Do they question why this has happened under his watch? Or do they leave him to deal with it internally? The relationship between manager and board is always a balancing act, and Celtic's hierarchy will be weighing the financial implications as well as the football ones. If the players in question are big earners or expensive signings, there might be resistance to quick decisions. But if Brendan's message is clear enough, and if performances start suffering, the club may have no choice but to support him with action. At the end of the day, this is still just a rumor. We've no confirmation from RODGERS himself, nor from the club. But even the fact that such a story is doing the rounds should set off alarm bells. It suggests that all isn't well behind the scenes, and that Brendan Rodgers, despite his calm demeanor in front of the cameras, is battling fires internally. If he can steady the ship and restore unity, he'll come out stronger. Maybe even lead the boys to glory. But if the cracks widen and the issues aren't dealt with, this could be the beginning of a bigger problem. So keep your eyes on Parkhead in the weeks to come. We might be in for a roller coaster. And for the fans, the lifeblood of this club, this is the time to rally behind the team. A divided squad needs united support. We might not know who the players in question are, but what we do know is that Celtic's success depends on everyone pulling in the same direction, on the pitch and in the stands. So while Brendan sorts things behind the scenes, the best thing the fans can do is make their voices heard in the right way. Loud, proud, and united for the badge. Because if there's one thing stronger than a rumor, it's belief. And that's what this club's built on. Believe in the team, back the manager, and let's hope this storm passes before it becomes a hurricane. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.